It's another great day to be alive. Welcome back to the podcast. Oh boy, oh boy. I can't make this up if I tried, you guys. I already recorded about half the podcast, and then, like usual, technology absolutely hates my guts. When I tell you I started to record the podcast with my camera earlier, then my camera said battery exhausted and just poofed into the abyss. Can't figure it out. Doesn't matter if I charge the battery, nothing happens. So then I was like, no big deal. We'll pivot. I love a good pivot. Not a problem. Life of the show girl, if you will. I get my computer all set up. I'm like, I'm just going to use the little camera on my computer. No biggie. Then the Wi-Fi cuts out. I'm like, okay, we'll start over. Then the server for the software that I use said, sorry, our servers are down right now. You've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding me right now. You've got to be kidding me right meow. When I was like 12, I was the queen of little phrases like that. My AOL, I digress majorly here per usual, but my AOL handle for, I guess it was AIM, my AIM chat, which if you are under the age of, I'm going to say like, honestly, 24-ish, maybe 25-ish. If you're 25 and under, I'm making myself sound crazy old because I'm only 29. If you're 25 and under, there was this thing, sounds so ridiculous to explain, called AIM. Don't even know what AIM stands for. And it was a part of AOL.com, I believe, which was basically like Gmail. And there was a chat, and this thing was bumping. This is where after school you would bolt to your mom or dad's desktop computer, and you would hop on that AIM chat, and you would pick a little sound. So mine was like, da-na-na. Every time someone would send me a chat, which was a big deal, I would sprint across the house when I heard that da-na-na, and I would chat with my friends. Why am I telling you this story? I have absolutely no idea where I was going with this, other than da-na-na. I was having a million technology issues, per usual, and that's okay. We love a pivot. So here we are. I'm sitting pretty. The summer I turned pretty, the night I turned pretty, and I'm excited to chat with you guys because, yes, I have taken one for the team, and the team being you guys, and have been painfully suffering through the belly triangle of love that is the most bizarre plot line I've ever experienced in my lifetime. But I've also done some really fun things this weekend, which includes volunteering at Disneyland. I brought a group of foster youth to the park with Thrive Cosmetics, which was incredible, so I'm going to tell you more about that. But most importantly, we're going back to the theaters. Can you believe it? Shake it off. Shake it off. I'm looking at my Lover bodysuit right now. I actually got out my Midnight's bodysuit, which, full transparency, I could not get zipped. I didn't fit into it at the time of Vancouver and London shows in 2024. So I am so excited to whip that puppy out and wear her to the theaters. I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm going to the theater at the Grove for, I think, my first showing. I can't remember. But I'm like, is that going to be weird? Rolling up to the Grove in a bodysuit with tights. Probably. Do I care? No. I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? There are girls that are out there rocking booty shorts galore these days. So me and my little Midnight's bodysuit will be just fine. And I can't wait. But we're going to talk about Life of a Showgirl outfits, the theater announcement, and all of that jazz. And my mom's coming to town this week. And I am so excited. So very excited. It was a little bit spontaneous. And I'll tell you more about why in a minute. But without further ado, let's yap about Disneyland because I love it. It's the most fun time of year right before Christmas. I feel like this is like the equivalent of the way that we feel like we're in the lead up to Life of a Showgirl, this sort of like calm before the storm, the bubbling excitement. If I were to equate that to like everyday society, that's how Halloween feels to me. It's like the pregame for Christmas. I am not a huge Halloween girl, but I've said this before, I'll say it again, I live for a theme. I live for a theme, I live for an activity, I live for the hope of it all. Cancel plans just in case you call. I do live for like collective excitement. What's the word? Collective joy, collective excitement. And I like that Halloween feels like something where as a society we say, hey, we're going to have fun. We're going to be silly, goofy, and then we're going to lock the heck in because ho ho ho, it's Christmas time. Anywho, all that to say, it is full swing Halloween at Disneyland, and I love going this time of year because I feel like the snacks, the treats, I love cinnamon flavored anything. And cinnamon really has its time to shine during pumpkin spice season. So live, laugh, love, PSL, girlies, this is our time. And I was so honored when I got the email. Honestly, it was like only a couple days ago from Thrive Cosmetics, which you guys have probably heard me if you follow me over on social media talk about Thrive Cosmetics before. It was not a sponsored opportunity. It was not a paid opportunity. It was purely just a giving opportunity. And that's really what the brand is about. If you've never shopped from them, they're most known for their mascara, their liquid lash extension mascara. Shout out Carissa, to the founder of Thrive Cosmetics. It's actually CAUSE, like not cosmetics, it's cause, like with a cause. And they have over 700 giving partners. I'm absolutely obsessed with the founder. She is so rooted in all things good in this world, like truly salt of the earth human. And everything that every interaction I've had with her, she just pours into other people and is constantly, she's literally like the networking queen. And she's involved with this organization, not just she, her company is involved with this organization called Foster Love. And it's actually, it seems like it's a nationwide company. I'm obviously very new to the organization, but I was excited to learn about this organization because I feel like not enough people talk about volunteering. And as an adult, the deeper I get into adulthood, if you will, I feel like I just crave, what's the word? Like, you know how when you're in high school, you have clubs, and in college, you have sorority, and you have after school activities and all these things. I want that in adulthood, and I want to be giving my time back when I can. And so I've been looking for really reputable organizations that feel close to my heart. And the reason that this particular opportunity and organization really spoke to me is that my mom is a foster child, well, was a foster child, and was adopted alongside her sister. And I've learned a lot from my mom about what that experience was like. And I've always had, for obvious reasons, like if someone didn't adopt my mom, I wouldn't exist. Or maybe I would, but in a different capacity or something. But I just feel like there's not enough resources and people talking about the foster system in general and the room for opportunity and growth that there is there. And little things like bringing the children to Disneyland can really shape and transform their self-esteem. It leaves them feeling empowered. They have a positive interaction that's purely about them for the day. There are so many good things that can come from it. So I was really honored that Thrive Cosmetics said, hey, we're getting involved with this organization. They have their annual Disney days. We're going to be volunteering. We would love to invite you to be a part of our team and volunteer. So I went and did that for literally 14 hours yesterday. It was 14 hours, which, if I'm being very, very honest with you, I was having a lot of anxiety about, because I am the type of person where commitments are not hard for me. I love a booked schedule. I love being busy, but the thing with commitments is I struggle when I feel out of control of the situation. And that's definitely something I've talked with my therapist a lot about, and I don't have all the answers to. It's an active thing we're working on. But when it comes to plans, like, I know dinner plans work really well for me because I have a general sense of the flow of things. We're going to get drinks and then maybe an appetizer. And then if we get dessert or a drink after dinner, it might be around 2 to 3 hours max is my commitment. But something like volunteering, where it's, there's not a super firm structure, or it's going to be a really long day with strangers, I feel very out of control because I'm at the mercy of whatever has planned for me. I struggle with that, and it's easy for me to want to feel like I want to back out or kind of shut down or find a reason to not do it. And so I was proud of myself for stepping outside of my comfort zone in that sense, because typically a big day-long commitment like that is something I would probably shy away from. But it was honestly probably more rewarding for the volunteers than it is for the children. Obviously, they'll remember it forever, but I think it was just one of those wake-up calls where, and I'm not going to share too much for the privacy of the children, but just observing little things like the fact that a child who is in a stable environment, they are not fearful of expressing themselves, whereas a child who might not be in as safe or as stable as an environment is, a lot more reserved and quiet, and takes a lot more to crack them open. And so it just puts a lot in perspective. And I had so much fun going around the park, and by like ride number 2 or 3, they were totally coming out of their shells, and it was just really awesome to see this like 14-hour transformation of them. But it was just really magical, and I feel really grateful and honestly excited that I found an organization. That's the other part of it, is like there's so many people that do fundraisers and work with organizations, but you never know if the money you give actually goes somewhere. So I love that everything that their website promised was actually the experience yesterday, and so much was given back to the children from endless souvenirs to any food or snack item that they wanted, lightning lane for the rides, all of that stuff. So it was absolutely magical, and hopefully I can find more ways to get involved in the organization. And if I can, I will definitely share those with you. Now, let's go ahead and knock out my thoughts on The Summer I Turned Pretty, because I've been voice messaging with a few of you guys over Instagram DMs. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you because I think critique is important. This was a conversation I was having with a follower on Instagram, and it absolutely behooves me that Taylor gave so much of her discography permission to be played on this show. It's crazy. I feel like obviously it's fun, like, to have the Taylor moments in there, but what surprises me is that I feel like the way that Taylor gets critiqued for her music being, like, a lot of people always say she just writes breakup songs. She writes songs about love, songs about breakups. I feel like the way that they used the songs so literally in a lot of moments, like, for example, when there's something happening, like friction between Belly and Jeremiah, it'll be like, "You're losing me." And I'm like, okay, well, that's obvious. I feel like, I guess what I'm saying is just it portrayed her discography in the way that's, like, very stereotypical. And I would love to know, like everyone says, the budget that Amazon had, because I think the limit does not exist, and that's obvious. Overall thoughts before I get to, like, the last few episodes of the show. I think I have, like, I can't remember if I'm on season 3, episode 3, I think is what I'm at, so maybe I have 5 more episodes, is just that I'm most bothered by the fact that Conrad is so deeply troubled. This man is suffering, like, a lot, and struggling a lot. And how come the only person that seems to have picked up on that and or acted on noticing that he was so troubled is this random girl who he was doing the medical job with, the red-haired girl that he does the med student job with for, like, 2 days. How come it's a complete stranger or someone who barely knows him, takes 5 seconds of time with him to realize, hey, you're struggling with your emotions, you need to do something about it? When, like, when his mom could have done that when she was alive, when Belly's mom absolutely could have stepped in after Susanna passed, when his dad, I don't know, could have helped out, rather than just putting him on this pedestal for being a golden child. I feel like his dad was, like, purely dismissing so many of the actual mental health issues that he was suffering. And on a deeper level, this is something that Matt has really opened my eyes to, is the fact that men struggle so much with their mental health, but they don't ever have a safe space created for them to have an outlet, because their whole, like, philosophy for male existence is to put your big boy pants on, protect, provide, buckle up, be a man. And I feel like Conrad is, like, the walking definition of what's problematic about that philosophy. So I'm hoping in the last 5 episodes, or with the movie, that we see some sort of, like, redemption for Conrad's mental health, because it's driving me bananas. Also, Belly claims to be, like, besties with, obviously now she's with Jeremiah at the point of the show where I'm at, and I've seen spoilers, so I kind of have an idea that she's probably not going to be with him forever, but she's with Jeremiah at this exact moment. But still, her and Steven, they're this whole family, they all claim to be family and besties. It's just perplexing to me, because I'm like, put your money where your mouth is. Like, you guys say that you're family, you say that you're all there for each other, but it feels like you're not, and you're only there to, like, have parties and have the fun parts, but when things get hard, you push them away and don't actually address them. And I don't know if that's, like, the mom is to blame. Perhaps I'm thinking way too deep about this show. But those are kind of my current thoughts when watching, is that aside from the fact that Belly needs to take 1,001 steps back, I do think her mom is right in the way that she's acting. Belly is absolutely delusional about the fact that getting engaged in the same conversation in which you're taking back your boyfriend who cheated on you is crazy. I do agree that they technically weren't together. That's, like, the age-old beef with couples, is like, well, were we together? I don't know. I thought we weren't. And I feel like from an outsider's perspective, I'm like, they kind of weren't. And a lot of people would be lying if they said they didn't have, like, some sort of bounce back situation. What do you call it? Bounce back, right? I think it's bounce back when you are, like, with someone immediately after being with someone else. And her reaction was completely justified, because he should have told her, but the fact that she also was definitely making eyes with Conrad during Christmas was just wild behavior to me. Absolutely wild behavior. And now I wish I was sort of following along in real time, because there are so many people who are like, Team Jeremiah. And I want to know why people who are Team Jeremiah chime in, because I want to know why you're Team Jeremiah. What is it about Team Jeremiah? I could see like the fact that he's super attentive, super sweet, obviously loves her. It's like that puppy dog golden retriever that everybody calls him. I totally see that. But for me, I feel like Conrad was just misunderstood and not fully tended to. That being said, I don't think Belly should, I don't want to say she doesn't deserve Conrad or Conrad doesn't deserve her, but I do feel like someone else would be better suited for the energy that Conrad gives, which is not bad energy, but I just don't think she's the answer. That being said, that might change in the last few episodes. So I'll report back once I've had a chance to finish those out. But I cannot wait a minute longer to talk with you guys. I'm going to pull it up on my phone. I feel like this came so fast and furious, the announcement of Life of a Showgirl in theaters. And someone did call out, it is the official release party of A Showgirl. So my question is, I guess is that what they're calling it on AMC.com, is the official release party of a Showgirl? Because I'm wondering if this, or when this goes to Disney Plus, like, is that what it's going to be called? Is the official release party of a Showgirl? And then the way that they've worded it like that, the official release party of a Showgirl, does sort of make me feel like it's going to be less informal in its editing style, and it's going to be more close to the Long Pond Studio sessions than actually like a true documentary format. But let's read what Taylor said here. I hereby invite you to a dazzling soiree, the official release party of a Showgirl. I feel like dazzling soiree will definitely be a lyric. Only in cinemas, you'll get to see the exclusive world premiere of the music video for my new single, which we need to talk about this, The Fate of Ophelia, along with never before seen behind the scenes footage of how we made it, cut by cut explanations of what inspired the music. That's what I'm excited about. And the brand new lyric videos for my new album, The Life of a Showgirl. Looks like it's time to brush off that Eras Tour outfit or orange cardigan. Tickets are on sale now. Do not even utter the word ticket, because that was a bloodbath of an experience. I know some of you guys had an easy time. I made the grave mistake of being away from my phone for about 5 minutes, and then everything went downhill when this announcement was made because the website was crashing. I'm downloading the app. Matt's using his monitor. I have both laptops, my phone. Nothing's working. Everything's going down. And that was crazy. I have like 4 sets of tickets. It's insane. But alas, I think I'm going to keep my expectations for this very casual. I think it's going to be more conversational than it is documentary style. And the fact that we're getting Fate of Ophelia as the single, I'm going to give you guys credit. A lot of you guys did guess this. But what I will say about Fate of Ophelia as the music video is that I have felt in my gut since the second that this was announced. I'm saying it now for the record, it is going to feel like a mashup of Right Where You Left Me, Clara Bow, and The Last Great American Dynasty. The storytelling of those 3 songs combined is what The Fate of Ophelia will feel like, with just the vibes kicked up a notch in the background, the same way of I'm so depressed I act like it's my birthday every day. Because I feel like it is still going to be like an oons party, I'm a showgirl vibe. But it's like, I imagine this album, and hear me out when I say this. You know when you go to the bathroom at the club or a party, I'm going to say a house party, a club, you go to the bathroom and it's like you just have that moment where it's so loud, the music is so loud, your ears are buzzing from the like noise, and you have like layers of sweat that have dried on you, but you're wearing glitter, and your mascara is a little bit smeared by your eyebrows, but you're still having fun, and you're just gonna like blot with a piece of toilet paper or tissue paper, get the oil on your cheeks, and get back out to the party. That moment of like reckoning with yourself in the bathroom, zhuzhing up your makeup, pulling your romper back up and getting it zipped by another girl, like that 10 minutes in the bathroom is how I feel this album will come to fruition. Does that make any sense at all? Like the way that it sounds like the party's happening behind you, but you're locked in the bathroom. That's how I'm feeling in my brain that this album will be. It's like fun, and you're there, the party's happening, but you've put on like headphones and a hoodie in the bathroom. I don't know. Maybe I sound insane, but I simply cannot wait to be back in theaters and just the vibes. Anything that can give me one millionth of the feeling of being back at the Eras Tour. I am just stoked about. I've seen so many different Taylor nights and club nights that have popped up all around the country. So I hope that you guys are able to attend not only the theater situation, but also one of those parties, because I think it's going to be an absolute blast. And I'm just excited to hear more about the art behind it and Taylor's mentality when creating this, how she says the cut by cut explanations. Like, yes, girl, tell me everything. I need to know. Where were you when you had the inspiration? Was it in your notes app? Were you on a bus, a plane, a private jet? Were you in your hotel room after 6 nights at Wembley Stadium? Like, I need the tea so badly on all of it, and I hope she doesn't hold back the way that she didn't on New Heights podcast. But I also am just dying to know the timeline, like the timeline of it. I'm so curious. She said in that little teaser clip that we got where she has the background that looks very reminiscent of the Fate of Ophelia, which, by the way, is Act 4, Scene 7, aka 47, which she said at the beginning of the podcast. I remember in that clip, the teaser clip that Taylor Nation posted of Taylor in the director's chair, she does say that like the imagery took them a really long time, that she, they worked really hard on these photos. So I'm thinking, okay, how long ago did you take these photos? Like, I'm so curious. Do you remember back when Taylor was rumored to be filming something at the Hollywood sign or taking pictures of something at the Hollywood sign? This must have been like at least a year ago at this point. And then it said it was called off because of security reasons and it being leaked. I almost wonder if she was supposed to take showgirl pictures at the Hollywood sign, because I kind of feel like that would be very showgirly vibes if it was like something with the city behind her and her standing in front of it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm totally making that up, but perhaps that it could have been around that time period. I don't know. We're going to have to really look hard at the different outfits that we see in the documentary and her fingernails and all of that to piece together timeline wise, because that is definitely something that's haunting my brain. But nonetheless, I'm so very jazzed. Can't wait to spend time with you guys, make bracelets, do all the things. Like, we need to get to work because we have our work cut out. We have some fun things coming up. Speaking of fun things, my mom is coming to town this week and I can't wait. I'm very excited. We have something very, very fun going on, and I absolutely cannot stand when people say this. They're like, I have something fun in the works, blah, blah. I wish I could tell you. I cannot. It is extremely confidential, but I cannot wait, and we're going to have a blast, and that's all I can say about that. Of course, we have other things going on while she's here, but bless my mother. I adore her with all of my heart, but I feel like I get absolutely no work done when my mom is in town, so say a prayer for me. And on the note of excitement, at the time of filming this episode, which is only a day or so before it comes out, we are officially 2 months out from Wicked for Good, and on that note, I think we're shaping up to have a pretty good fall, if you ask me. But we have some time for a submission. We have quite a long one that I'm excited to read and work through with you guys. If you're new to the podcast or just tuning in since we've done the rebrand to Another Great Day, the submission form is now open for multiple things. So of course you can send in any sort of Easter eggs and Swiftie related things like before, but you can also send in story times, questions, advice, big sister chat, and as always you can choose for it to be anonymous. So today's is from Anonymous, and it says, "Hi Reagan, I'm a 23-year-old girl and I just graduated from uni in July with a degree in renewable energy." Ooh. Oh, it's renewable energy engineering. Okay, interesting. In my second year, I was an intern in a solar company, which was a 9-to-5 job for 6 weeks. Shortly after I was done, they offered me a job after graduation, and I was so, so excited and felt lucky to work with them after graduation immediately. Amazing. Congratulations. Fast forward, now I forgot to mention that I studied abroad in the UK and the job is based in the UK. I have exactly 14 days until my flight back to the UK for my job. So what's the issue? I am so nervous. I'm used to never saying no to an experience, but working a 9-to-5 job just sounds scary, especially immediately after uni, where in my opinion, life was stressful, but definitely more flexible. I am just afraid that I'm not going to have a life after work. I am going to live alone, but without knowing anybody in the city, with just one friend who works at the company, is different than university, where you can be with people from your courses every day. Before getting the job offer, my plan was to go back home and stay with my family and find a job here, surrounded with my friends. But I was like, I would never miss an opportunity to work abroad, which will be max 2 years. What do you think? I need some reassurance that everything will be okay. Okay, hi. I think this is such an important conversation for us to have, so I'm so grateful that you brought this up, because I feel like a lot of people have this struggle of, how do I have a life outside of my 9 to 5? And I know that you might be scoffing at me because I don't have a 9 to 5, but I did. I did at one point. I worked sales and I did that for a couple of years, and I did work in an office for some of that, and it was very regimented where I was doing, clock in, clock out sort of situation, and I have had office jobs as well. So what I will say is that finding things that are sacred to you that you can work in, like I'm talking rituals, like every morning you are going for a walk before work, or every morning you're journaling for 15 minutes, or every morning you're doing something for yourself that is not just rolling out of bed, getting dressed, and going to work, because it's going to feel very repetitive and mundane. It sounds like you don't have children, so it seems like there is a possibility for you to kind of work something into that morning ritual. I know that's more difficult for people who have children. And then I will say your lunch break. Get out of the office. That was something that was huge for me when I was working a 9 to 5. I was friends with one of the girls in the office, and we would go for walks. That was really great for me to get outside, get away from the office, or go take your lunch at a cafe, at a coffee shop. Just switching up my environment and doing something different every day really helped me. And then after work, I would try as best as you can to habit stack. And what I mean by that is so that you're not constantly doing laundry every day of the week or feeling like you're catching up on chores. Figure out a system that works best for you, where you know that for 4 hours on Sunday mornings, you're knocking out your chores so that the rest of, the weekend you can focus on other things. Or if you set a timer for 30 minutes every day when you get home from work, and you figure out, packing your lunch for the next day, doing all those things, and then the rest of the time is dedicated towards you. But I really feel like because your life is going to have that structure of the 9 to 5, creating things where you could switch up your dinner, what you're having for dinner every week, trying a new recipe or something to look forward to, like booking a wine and paint class or whatever it might be. Anything you can build in that is for you and something you can look forward to, I think is going to be really, really huge for you. And the fact that this is a study abroad opportunity is just huge in itself. You're going to be somewhere new, somewhere fresh, somewhere exciting, where you're going to have endless opportunity. And it is going to be a challenge. I'm going to be very honest with you. Being in a place where you don't know people, I still struggle 10 years later being in LA, meeting people and making new friends. But being forward with people and just being honest, I met someone new this past weekend when volunteering at Disney. I didn't know any of the people, but I was talking with some of the girls, and I straight up told one of the girls. She lived nearby me, and I said, hey, I really don't have anybody who I'm friends with that lives directly in my neighborhood, in my areas. Being that you do, I would love to get lunch on the calendar with you. Learning to get comfortable being forward will be your best friend, being in an environment and situation when you're new. And saying that to people in the office as well. Hey, I'm new. I'm trying to find something to do after work, or do you have any recommendations for you? People are so willing and excited to bring you into their life and their culture, especially when you're open and honest that way. So I would add that to your vocabulary as much as possible, bringing up to people, hey, I'm new. Help, however you want to word it, I think will be really beneficial. But this is going to be such a magical and transformative experience for you, getting out of your comfort zone. I say that as someone who picked up my life and moved from Florida the week after I graduated college, drove my car across the country with my mom, and have been here in LA ever since. Shaking up your environment is such a good thing, not only for the soul, but your 20s, everybody should do it in their 20s. Everybody, even in your 30s, I don't care how old you are, everybody should try once in their life to move away from the place that they're most comfortable in, whether it's your hometown, whether it's where you grew up, whether it's where your parents live. Get out and go do something on your own. It will change you for the better, I promise. I'm so grateful that you sent this in. That being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. Make sure to fill out that submission form if you have anything that you want to send my way. We will be having so many updates in the coming weeks. Only 1 or 2 more episodes before it is going to be full-on showgirl vibes, and I absolutely cannot wait. Send in your submissions, drop a comment, let me know the latest, your thoughts on everything that we talked about today. I cannot wait until next week. But until then, I will see you on the next one. Bye!